All right, we got a good one. This is about a lawyer who destroys a couple idiot cops in Illinois. This comes from Cook County, and none other from Pink Camera Magic. Yeah, Amanda. These are the two cops that arrested, detained her, and this lawyer obliterated. We'll get some more footage on that one too.
I don't know. What lawful basis was there for you to demand her ID? I don't know. What lawful basis was there for you to put her in handcuffs in response to her not giving you her ID? I don't know. In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
Okay. Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Because I don't know the law exactly.
You don't know when an officer is allowed to detain somebody?
In Cook County, Illinois, on the left, that is Lieutenant Don Malazzo. On the right is Sergeant Jennifer Larson. Their depositions in a lawsuit have now been released, and the officer's ignorance is frightening.
If you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right. Agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
Who told you this? That you get to detain people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked?
The officer's incompetence and wrong answers were recorded in a lawsuit filed by this woman, known as Pink Camera Magic. A few years ago, she went to the Cook County Courthouse to address 3 traffic tickets. Outside on the public sidewalk, she started filming the building's exterior.
Ma'am, can I ask what you're doing?
I'm recording the building.
Why?
Because I want to.
For what purpose? Can I get a supervisor to the front door, please? The lady videotaping the building asked the wife if she wants to.
I always remember back when I first started getting this community, Pink Camera Magic was one of the probably first dozen channels I used to follow. And I remember back then when Pink Camera Magic used to cop watch and go out with Shaitan Sue, which we don't know what happened to her, and Denise Lynn. They used to go out cop watch out of here. Well, Denise she don't live in Cook County no more. Shaitan Sue doesn't do much.
Exactly, that's why I'm recording it.
It's also a court facility.
Yep.
Which there is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
No, that's all
We're going
right.
to get your name. We're going to do a report and everything. So come on in.
No.
No, yeah, you're going to come in now.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to detain anybody.
Well, it is for Dana. Come on.
It's really not. So I'm just going to
Suspicious.
stay here and continue recording.
Okay. You're going to come in and we're going to find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs? She does not want to go agreeably. Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious, and we need to know who you are and why you're doing it. Okay?
Are you familiar with the First Amendment?
See, oh yeah, this is dumbass cop. I think it's crazy people thinking if you take pictures of the public saying you're suspicious. I mean, what does that make somebody look like the terrorist? Fuck, terrorists don't need to be taking pictures. A terrorist can Google map fucking shit in a building.
Yes.
Really?
Let's go in. Come on.
Wow.
I tried to do this nicely.
The citizen with a camera was arrested, and while prosecutors eventually dropped the charges, she filed a lawsuit for civil rights violations.
Place them away from the microphones as they can interfere with the deposition audio.
During the depositions, first up was Sergeant Jennifer Larson. She assisted in the arrest.
Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual. What us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay. Depending on where you are in the country, Mormons are unusual.
I remember when Pete Cameron
Right.
Magic used to comment in my
Depending on where you are,
top of
it might be
my
unusual
old
to see a
channel.
Mormon. Do you get to detain Mormons in those places?
Yeah, I know some others that I used to have some used to come on my live chat. Pink was one of them. Fruity Potato did quite a few. Eric Brandt, Nasty Nether will comment some of the section like that. El Jefe quite a bit. And the ones that come on chat was Eric Brandt, El Jefe, James Jacobson, Kim Morehouse. Yeah.
I don't know. People detain Mormons.
Did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she was and why.
You and I agree on that you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her. Did you have the right to put her in handcuffs?
For the security of the officers, yes.
Okay. What made her a threat?
Her refusing to give any information that was requested of her.
Was she legally obligated to give that information?
When an officer has asked her for security purposes to give her identity up, yes.
Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk?
I have.
What is that?
Terry stop.
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay. Doesn't there have to
You know what people like to refer to the Terry stop is when the cops try to stop you and frisk you, thinking you are a terrorist person, like a domestic terrorist or cyber terrorist, like that's what, or like a terrorist stop, like an IED kind of thing.
be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a
Film in
criminal
public,
offense
like taking
or
pictures
violated a
doesn't
law?
qualify
As
for
I'm
a
gonna,
Terry
I
stop.
don't know the law exactly.
At least she was honest. Lieutenant Don Malazzo was ignorant and evasive.
If you could go back in time to the day that you arrested her, would you still arrest her?
So you're asking me if I can go back
Yeah,
in time?
because
Yeah.
she knew that lady
I
caught
don't
she
know how I
knew
could do that.
she knew
Okay,
she
did you
fucked
understand
up,
my question?
I did, and you're asking me to
This
suppose
jackass
whether or not I can go
thinks
back in
he's
time.
what?
I can't.
So you can't tell me if you would still arrest her?
I can't tell you what would happen on that day if I went back in time, no.
Okay. Is this an attempt to be funny?
Not a bit.
Are you trying to answer my questions?
I'm trying to answer your question.
Is there a law
Well,
that
you did a
requires
shitty
people
job
to identify
there, dude.
themselves when requested by law enforcement?
I don't know.
Did you delete her pictures?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice, they were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera
Yes.
away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay, so you had it the entire time.
Yes.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted?
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete them.
The judge wanted to delete the photos, says this cop.
Okay. You
That's
just
bullshit.
Said that he asked you for the memory card because
This
he
guy
wanted to
fucking
delete the
talks about
pictures.
his
Is that your
mind.
testimony?
Yes.
The judge would
And
never
if he were to
ask
testify at
for a
some point in
person's
time
photos or
that he
memory to be
absolutely,
deleted off their
categorically
phone on
did not
possession.
delete those pictures,
This cop knows he fucked up.
then
He's trying to fucking
would you want to
love
change your answer as to whether you or one of your people did?
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation.
No one had custody of the camera but me.
Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
I don't know.
Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
What if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions?
That's a Brady violation.
Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I
27
imagine you
years.
only became a lieutenant recently?
Dude, you've been this lieutenant's been on the job for 27 years, and he still doesn't understand the concept of the First Amendment or people having rights. Unbelievable. having their constitutional rights.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago.
22 years as a lieutenant, a police supervisor, and he didn't know about Miranda warnings and basic constitutional rights. Milazzo, under oath, also accused a judge of unlawful behavior. Well, between Lieutenant Don Milazzo and Sergeant Jennifer I can do whatever I want Larson, Cook County, Illinois law enforcement could not look any more tyrannical and embarrassing. Despite all of this, a few years ago, a judge dismissed Pink Camera Magic's lawsuit, citing a previous case that upheld a local law prohibiting filming inside the courthouse. However, Pink Camera Magic was standing outside on the public sidewalk filming the exterior. So she has appealed, and her case is still winding through the courts. One can only hope that she is successful and that Lieutenant Milazzo and Sergeant Larson...
Yeah, because you know why those cops fucked up? Pink Camera Magic, Amanda was standing outside on the sidewalk. That's a public area forum. Just like I did a story a couple days ago about a dude who was standing on a public sidewalk filming, and it took 8 Chicago cops, and they eventually arrested him. For what? They were saying, oh, he was peeing the flow of the sidewalk. There was nobody walking back and forth that sidewalk.
Become the exceptions in law enforcement, not the despicable standard. By the way, in Connecticut, police are now facing a lawsuit.
All right, there's another part of this story I want to get to. All right, here comes the good part right here.
Welcome back to Here's the Deal.
Here's the deal.
I'm flanked by Frick and Frack. And fair warning for you, you may lose some brain cells while you watch this video and listen to the verbal fumblings of a sergeant and lieutenant from Cook County.
You cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
No, that's all
We're going
right.
to get your name. We're going to do a report.
No.
No, yeah.
No.
No, yeah, you're going to come in now.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to detain anybody.
Well, it is for Dana. Come on.
It's really not.
Let's go
So
inside.
I'm gonna stay here?
You're going to
Like
come
I
in
said,
and we're going to find out who
public
you are
photography
and what
is
you're
not,
doing.
No, you're not.
is not
Okay.
deemed
Who's got cuffs?
suspicious activity.
She does not want to go in
Especially
freely.
outside
From
the
the
public
First Amendment?
sidewalk.
Yes. I am.
Really?
Is there a law that requires people to identify themselves when requested by law enforcement?
I don't know.
On March 18th, 2018, while there to take care of 3 traffic tickets, the owner of the channel Pink Camera Magic was standing
Let's see if I can find that back right there. Okay.
standing on a public sidewalk outside of the Cook 2018, while there to take care of 3 traffic tickets.
3 traffic
The owner of the channel Pink Camera
Right there. Pink Camera Magic. In my book, she's still probably one of the best cop watcher otters out there in the planet.
Magic was standing on a public sidewalk outside of the Cook County Courthouse, which is a public building, minding her own business, exercising her right to record.
I remember when Pink was around, when Denise Lynn and Chi-Town Sue had a fallout. You know, I remember when Chi-Town Sue started accusing Denise when we're hanging around Black Label Cop Watch like that. She always said like, oh, blah 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 blah, or your Ben's main moderator. Well, Black Label's long gone, and he's a fallout. Denise in their state.
When all of a sudden, she got the attention
nowadays.
of Officer Smedley Stinkeye.
Ma'am, can I ask what you're doing?
I'm recording the building.
Why?
Because I want to.
For what purpose?
I gotta let this roll. I gotta feed the cat. He's fucking me.
Can I get a supervisor to the front door, please?
I just want you to take note of how fast they can arrive on the scene when there's a camera in the area. But for some reason, if there's a guy shooting up a couple classrooms, well, it's going to take a couple hundred of them about 77 minutes to respond. Let's see how well Lieutenant Milazzo
Bad dog Chris
here
Russo's
protects
on
and
per
defends
se.
this woman's rights.
Hey, ma'am, you know this is a public building?
Exactly. That's why I'm recording
It's
it.
also a court facility?
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? This dumbass cop basically violated Pink Camera Magic's rights. Yeah. because she was not committing no crime. There was nothing reasonable suspicion or her being a suspicious person. Public photography is not a crime, especially when you're on a public sidewalk.
There is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
Yeah, we're going to check your IDs. Yeah. You know why cops want to sit there when they check your ID? To hope you have a warrant.
No, that's all
You're
right.
get your name.
This dumbass
You're
was
gonna do a
hoping
report.
Amanda would have a warrant.
Everything. So come on in.
Or one of her friends would.
No.
I believe
Yeah,
Chi-Town
you're gonna
Sue
come
was
in now.
with her
Am I being
on this
detained?
one.
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something
I don't know if
suspicious.
That's not a
was
reason
it
to detain
Chi-Town
anybody.
Sue or
It is
Denise,
Deanna.
so I don't know.
Come on.
It might have been
Everyone
Denise
I'm
with
going to
her.
stay here
I'm not
and continue
sure.
recording.
Okay. You're going to come in and we're going to find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs? She does not want to go agreeably. Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious.
Yeah, well,
and we need
it's
to
not
know
a
who
crime
you
to
are
take
and why you're
pictures of
doing
the
it.
building or whatever
Okay.
the naked
Are you familiar
eyes
with
can
First
see in the
Amendment?
public fund in the
Yes.
setting.
Really? Put
Let's
your hands
go in.
behind your back.
Come on.
Wow.
I tried to do this nicely. You are aware of Homeland Security, right?
Are you familiar with the 2010 DHS memo that allows me to film?
If you've got a reason for being here filming, then we need to know what it is.
No, you don't. It's none of your business.
Familiar with the First Amendment? It's like she dumped a gallon of holy water on a vampire. He did.
Yeah, and unfortunately, bitch up with cops down nowadays. They don't care if you know about the First Amendment or know the Bill of Rights, the constitutional rights. They don't care. They were going to trample over your rights. That's why people were flexing their power. That's why First Amendment trumps a lot of things. Yeah, like First Amendment, free speech, freedom of press, freedom of assemble, and freedom to record.
Not like that.
Okay, you have an ID?
I don't consent to any searches. I'm taking pictures, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then we will detain you until we decide who you are.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm going to remain silent until I talk to a lawyer.
Okay. Call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Well, it's already on.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazies?
Lieutenant Milazzo considers us crazies if we dare to assert and hold fast to the rights that millions of people fought, bled, and died.
No, I mean, you got people like Fraud of the Troll and Takedown, exposing frauders, like people like that guy, Kenny. He thinks if we know our constitutional rights, our amendments, we know we talk about First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, he thinks, it makes us sober citizens, or we hate the cops. Not at all.
So Pink Camera Magic, an obvious crazy, was arrested and illegally searched, handcuffed to a bench for 2 hours, and threatened by a lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and 2 deputies at the Cook County Courthouse for the unspeakably heinous crime of recording a public building from the outside. Pink Camera Magic.
Yeah, and plus what I heard was that these stupid cops were saying that Pink Camera Magic was a national security risk and a national security threat, and claiming that she's filming a building because she's a terrorist. Absolutely disgusting garbage. Yeah, there's the affidavit right there, right? Look at that. That's Pink Camera Magic right there. That's her to be the plaintiff suing the defendant of that cop right there.
Magic has since filed a lawsuit in federal court, and she also filed a
Amanda
motion for
James
decision,
Berkowitz, yeah.
and the judge ruled against her. This was the judge's basis for dropping the case.
Defendant was a
Quote,
pig
in
cop
Katie
when you saw
versus Sheehan, the Seventh Circuit held that an officer was entitled to conduct a Terry stop of an individual who is, quote, lurking amongst the bushes outside a courthouse 2 hours before it opens.
Yeah, Terry stop is like when they stop and frisk, or like if the cops deem you as a terrorist or like a domestic terrorist.
shabbily dressed, carrying a briefcase, claims to be a federal process server, refuses to provide identification upon request, and is evasive in response to police questioning. As the court reasoned, quote, a reasonably prudent officer would be concerned for the safety of the officers and civilians in the area, as well as for the stopped individual. Here, as in Katie, a reasonably...
Yeah, look at that. Let me see if we can blow it up there. Oh, yeah. Right there. 7th Circuit say held up an officer was entitled to conduct a Terry stop individual who is lurking among the bushes outside the courthouse. Was she looking in the bushes? She was standing outside on a sidewalk, public area where she could be seen and heard. For 2 hours before, and opened shabbily dressed, carrying a briefcase, claims to be a federal process server. Anyways, yeah. Let me blow it back down there. Okay.
Prudent officer in Officer Barbero's position would be concerned about the well-being of officers, jurors, witnesses, victims, and judicial employees after seeing plaintiff videotaping the courthouse and refusing to answer basic questions, especially where, as here, reasonable cause existed to believe plaintiff captured footage of the court entrance and the inside of the courthouse, including the security post itself, end quote. So according to this judge, exercising basic American rights can be viewed as reasonable cause to remove those rights. And we all know that exercising rights can be
super dangerous.
Well, two of the main officers involved in trampling those rights were Sergeant Jennifer Larson and Lieutenant Donald.
Yeah, look at that right there. 2 on this end. Okay. Ah, God dang it. Again, stupid thing.
And Lieutenant Donald.
All right. Let's try it again. Yep. Thin blue lines right there. 1 and 2. Uno, dos. All right.
Milazzo. Both Milazzo and
she
Larson
came in
were
admitted
deposed by Solomon Radner.
This clown,
both the lieutenant and the sergeant display a common ailment that plagues hundreds of thousands of police officers in America. They simply don't know the law and don't care about the freedom shield called the Constitution.
And none of that, you have this clown right here. Right here. This clown's been a lieutenant. He's been on the job for 27 years. And he doesn't care and tries to downplay like what the First Amendment is all about. He doesn't care about your freedom, your rights, and your Constitution of the First Amendment.
Yeah. Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual. What us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay.
So, will
depending on where you are in the country, Mormons are unusual.
Unusual, suspicious behavior or activity?
Depending on where you are. It might be unusual to see a Mormon. Do you get to detain Mormons in those places?
I don't know. People detain Mormons.
Did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to...
So you sitting there saying, oh, she's filming
ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she was and why.
You and I agree on that you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her. Did you have the right to put her in handcuffs?
For the security of the officers, yes.
Okay.
Security?
What made her a threat?
Was she a national security threat? Was she a security risk?
Refusing to give any information that was requested of her.
Was she legally obligated to give that information?
When an officer has asked her for security purposes give her identity up, yes.
Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search?
Amanda was a security threat?
What is that?
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay. Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Yeah, reasonable suspicion like if someone's doing...
I don't know the law exactly.
I don't know the law exactly.
Now, I don't know about you.
And the thing is, too, the cops would have to have reasonable, articulated suspicion that Pink was doing something like she is committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or have already committed a crime. filming on a public sidewalk, of taking pictures of filming a building, is not reasonable articulate suspicion.
But a law enforcer who tells me that he or she doesn't know anything about the law that they're there to enforce is kind of like the plumber who says he doesn't know how to install your toilet, or an electrician who doesn't know how to change a fuse.
Yeah, or that'd be like you get in a yard service, or say you get somebody's going to trim your tree. Well, I don't know how to cut the branches, or I don't know how to mow the grass, or electricity. I don't know how to install the light switch.
Or the mechanic who says he can't find your oil filter.
I don't know the law. I don't know the law exactly.
Well, I got a question for you, Jennifer. How would
I'll be like a musician. You get a guitar player like that. Well, I don't know how to play this guitar. It was just like, yeah, well, you don't know how to play a Les Paul Gibson. It's no different playing the Fender Stratocaster.
you like it if I detain you right now? Because I'm awfully suspicious that you may be impersonating an officer. She can't even give a logical or legal reason that she detained someone, which leads me to believe she may have done this many times before, and there's a good chance that she's left a lot of victims in the wake of her ignorance. You'd think if there...
And once again, Brady violation comes into the play in the factor of this.
If there's any law Jennifer would know, it'd be Terry v. Ohio, which was a landmark Supreme Court case that ruled that it's constitutional for cops to stop and frisk a person they reasonably suspect to be armed and involved in a crime. But Jennifer here doesn't even know that.
But wait, there's more.
If you could go back in time to the day that you arrested her, would you still arrest her?
So you're asking me if I can go back in time?
Yeah.
I don't know how I could do that.
Okay, did you understand my question?
I did, and you're asking me to suppose whether or not I can go back in time. I can't.
So you can't tell me if you would still arrest her?
I can't tell you what would happen on that day if I went back in time, no.
Donnie thinks he's being real clever.
Good one, Donnie.
He's willing to put his time travel thinking cap on to facetiously answer this reasonable question, but he does it to evade giving an answer. Knowing what you now know about the parameter you must operate within before you can lay hands on somebody and remove their freedoms, would you do the same thing? This guy is clearly a danger to himself and to others.
He's a danger in Cook County.
Funny?
Not a bit.
Are you trying to answer my questions?
I'm trying to answer your question.
Is there a law that requires people to...
Yeah. But when this guy was on the beat for an officer for 27 years, he was a menace and a danger to the civilians up in Cook County.
Identify themselves when requested by law enforcement?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Did you delete her pictures?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice, they were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay, so you had it the entire time.
Yes.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted?
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete them.
So somebody tampered with and destroyed evidence which recorded a crime committed against an American, standing in a public place outside of a public building, exercising a constitutionally protected right. What do you think the chances are that old Donnie is lying here?
Yeah.
Okay. You just said that he asked you for the memory card because he wanted to delete the pictures. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And if he were to testify...
So he sat there saying double down on stupidness. He said the judge ordered of the deletion of the evidence. Yeah. You know what that's also called like that? That's called tampering of a witness. Right there.
Some point in time that
he just
absolutely
lied under
categorically did not delete those pictures, then would you want to change your answer as to whether you or one of your people did?
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation.
No one had custody.
I'm like, Donnie, I think you're lying. You want to reconsider your answer on while you're on the stand? Because you're under oath, buddy. Because you lie. You just committed contempt of court. And that's perjury.
The camera but me.
Okay. Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
I don't know.
Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Fifth
Have
Amendment.
you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've
Nope.
never read anybody
You
the
did not
Miranda
need to read.
rights?
That's a violation.
And what if
Brady
somebody says,
violation.
yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer?
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years.
I imagine you only became a lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago.
So
2
this
years.
guy's been a cop for 27
27
years
years.
and a lieutenant for 22 years. And he can't cite a law stating that if you don't give ID, you can be arrested, but he's going to arrest people anyway? Well, I've definitely helped you kill enough brain cells today. If you want to see the entire deposition, go to Pink Camera Magic's channel. I'll leave that link in the description for you. If you visit her, let her know that Here's the Deal sent you. If you like this video, maybe you'll like some of my other.
Yeah, like I said, Pink is one. I think she's one of the probably the half a dozen or so good, great auditors and cop watchers. She's been doing it for over 5 years. I think some of my friends would be like, dude, what a find. It covered that. That's a good story they're seeing, man. Yeah, those cops got obliterated. Anyways, I'm out of here. My job. Peace out.